This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, welcome to the Thursday night edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. We've also got our new third wheel, Max Arraj, Mad Max, on the broadcast tonight. We got to re-record the intro. I'm going to have to, get myself in the zone to into voiceover mode to re-record the intro and add Mad Max in there. No, good to have you boys on here. Justin, Jarrett, Wes Kerr, Max Arraj, talking LowcoSports with you guys tonight. And I did not get out to a game tonight because I was coaching the Electric Eels. We took a tough L, faced that same tough pitcher from game one. But we put up, we didn't get 8 on her, but we put up 8 tonight. We worked in some new pitchers tonight. We're developing some pitching depth for the future, both teams. But anyway, there was some stuff going on. A couple of things that got moved off Friday night to Thursday night because of the impending weather. A few things of note, and we'll dig a little deeper into them later on. But Hilton Head Prep boys soccer 1-0 over Calvary Day. As far as I can tell, this is their first win since 2019. They lost the last game of the 2019 season. They played one game in that 2020 COVID season and tied it. And then they didn't play the next season, and then they'd lost 25 straight and won 1-0 tonight. So that's awesome. Congrats to those guys for getting the dub. Other things that stood out, Wes, so we'll talk about it in great detail shortly, but 15-1 Hilton Head girls lacrosse over James Island. I didn't know James Island was down that bad, or Hilton Head was maybe that good, but great result nonetheless. Yeah, and the guys beat James Island as well, 16-9. So that's good to see. And then Max, you checked out Battery Creek Beaufort rivalry. The baseball game was about what we expected. Beaufort ran through them 11-2, but the softball game was a Donnybrook. Ended up going 9 innings.
Yes, sir.
Final score would fool you because it was 9-4, but 9-inning contest, quite a matchup.
Yeah, it was a real good matchup. I mean, we yeah, man, I love Carlo.
You're running mate Carlo Perusa, giving you love.
Yeah, shout out to him for helping me out with filming that game today. Yeah, I mean, Battery Creek got up early in the first. You scored a run in the first, and then Beaufort kind of started showing themselves. Scored 3 runs and one in the second, one in the third, one in the fourth. And we thought, oh boy, Beaufort might be running away with this one. And then out of nowhere, Battery Creek scored 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth.
There's Max doing his stand-up. Yeah, we'll post that on social media after the show, the full highlights with voiceover. But Carlo Perusa on the keeper work here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, Fred coming back. Great to see that.
Battery Creek in the fourth and fifth, they scored 2 in the fourth. 1 in the fifth to take the lead. It was 4-3. And then it wasn't until 2 outs left in the 7th inning that Beaufort High School was able to score a run with 2 outs in the 7th. And tie this game up. And then
we're going to see that right here, I believe.
Yeah, right there.
Tying shot, Ariana Smith coming around to score.
Yeah, and they battled in that 7th inning. So, hats off to them. Scoreless 8th inning. And then all of a sudden the bats started unloading for Beaufort High School in the 9th. Scoring, I believe, five runs in the 9th inning to take the 9-4 win. Kylie Rast, man, she had a real good game today.
Good battle on this one.
Yeah,
126 pitches. She walked 18 strikeouts.
Yeah, man, she was firing. She is a strikeout pitcher, man. Let me tell you. Yeah. I mean, she struck out the side in the 2nd inning. So I mean, she's good. She's good.
Yeah, I mean, 4 runs, but none of them were earned. So she continues to dazzle. Walked 3, hit 1, but 18 strikeouts, 126 pitches. She was a dog tonight and went the distance in a 9-inning game. Not easy to do. So she hit the plate as well, 2 for 5, and a double, drove in 2 runs. So an absolute beast. Anywhere you put her on the field. We just had her on earlier in the week, and really special to talk to her and see what she continues to do now and just take over everywhere on the field. And just really fun, exciting to watch her continue to thrive and excel as a player and as a person. But give credit to the way Battery Creek dug in against a strong team and scrapped across a strong effort, took advantage of some mistakes. Buford made a couple errors defensively, and Creek able to put a couple runs on the board and bring this to the 9th inning. So what a battle over there. Good on Buford to find a way to get the dub, and you'd love to see that extra efforts from Battery Creek side that has displayed some strong teams of the year and played very tough, a good squad. And on the other side, we got Bridges Prep falling to Member Gerhardt also in softball, but Buford baseball in an 11-2 dominant win over Battery Creek Dolphins. So another great night for Eagles for the both baseball and softball sides, and obviously they had to. Was this originally planned to be today, or was this moved?
Yeah, no, they were supposed to. Both were supposed to be Friday, and they moved them to Thursday to get them in before the weather.
Good decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful night tonight. Great night for it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Another
different game.
I was impressed with Eleanor Dolan.
Yeah, man,
going 4 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs out of the 9-hole. That's huge.
Yeah, she came up clutch tonight. So I enjoyed watching her get hit the way she did today. I think that was one of the main focuses for Buford High today was find ways to get Eleanor Dolan going. And she got going today. She did real well today. And then you go to the Buford High School game, baseball game, bit of a different story. 11-2 win. I believe Hollingsworth was on the mound today for Buford
he was dominant. Struck out 14 over 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk. Logan Brutcher he did damage, 2 for 2 with the triple, a walk, 2 runs, an RBI. Dylan Rass was 2 for 2 with 2 runs. Hudson Mullen 1 for 2 with a double and 2 walks. Tucker Michael 1 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI. They kind of got their mojo back. Schedule helped. I mean, they lost their mojo when the schedule was really tough, and then they got it back when the schedule was easier. Well, what do you know? But to do some transitive property stuff, Philip Simmons beat May River tonight 6-2. They scored 5 in the 6th to do it. It was 2-1 game, and then Micah Morgan pitched pretty well, but they started getting to him in the 6th. And then they made some errors there. May River had 4 errors tonight, but it was the same kid who shut out Buford, Nolan Clifford, pitched really well against May River tonight as well. So that dude's pretty legit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, May River was throwing, pitching off basically. I mean, Micah's solid, but it's kind of like the college guys, the midweek guys, They're not using their dudes. They're saving them for Mondays and Wednesdays. But that Philip Simmons team is quality, is what I was saying, especially that pitcher. So I don't make that much of Buford's 3-game losing streak last week, because like the first one they just got bedazzled by a really good pitcher, and then they pitched off against Hilton Head Christian, which beat up on them like a good team will do against your second tier pitchers. But they seem to have righted the ship. They could have. I would have been worried if they then went ahead and lost to Philip Simmons, and then they came out and kind of slacked around this week. But it seems like they've turned a corner a little bit. So I think they're still going to be fine, and they're still right in that region because they split with Philip Simmons. So if Hanahan and Philip Simmons split and they can sweep Hanahan, then they're in the driver's seat. So it's still right there in front of them, and they've got a lot of talent. There's no reason to think that they won't be competitive the rest of the way. But that was it for baseball. And then, as you mentioned briefly, Wes, Bamberg Earhart 13-0 over Bridges Prep, outside our coverage area. But Bamberg's kind of like, I feel like they're almost like an adopted team, so to speak, playing in the same region with Whale Branch all these years. And like we got to cover them on WSAV and stuff. And I've gotten to know Coach Crosby a little bit. So I want to shout out the kid for them who had a massive night, Maddie Hutto. 4-inning no-hitter. She walked 1, struck out 11, was 2 for 2 with a double, a walk, a run, and 4 RBIs. So outside the coverage area, but keep an eye on Maddie Hutto. Bamberg Earhart looks like she may be a bala. But that's it on the diamonds. And Wes, you had the lacrosse tonight. You had the girls. Hilton had girls, and I think we're going to be talking with one of them in a few minutes, correct? But we've got your highlights. Well,
Christie, yep.
She have a good night tonight.
Yeah, it was a terrific combined team effort here. This lacrosse squad. Really, really impressive. I expected it to be a back and forth game, but Hilton had controlled it from the very first ball tonight. And man, they came out ready to play, and just the way they moved the ball as a team, the way they played defense, was absolutely insane. And they were just a minute and a half away from a shutout, which is something you rarely ever see in lacrosse. Yeah. And that's a good James Island team. They had some strong players on that squad. That's no pushover of a team that they played against tonight. But Ella Christie, she was phenomenal. She had a couple of goals, also contributing 2 goals, 3 assists, also contributing in some of the assists as well. But really solid performance all the way around. Maddie Massey with 4 goals in the game. Audrey Reinhardt with 3 of them, and just really controlling the ground ball. So Emily Pfister with a beautiful goal. If her name sounds familiar, she was part of that Hilton High basketball team, the girls basketball squad. And by the way, her hype woman, Linda Young, out there in the stands cheering her on throughout that game. Got that goal. I got to see Linda. I love to see the athletes supporting athletes backing athletes. But Rel Stracco outstanding in goal. Didn't have to do too much work because the defense was impeccable. Just amazing tonight. The way they forced turnovers and just didn't allow many shots for James Island. And the offense looked seamless. Passing was fantastic. They were so unselfish tonight. Continuing to find the open man and find better opportunities and better shots at the net, and just a really clinical performance at home. And I'm really impressed. Kara Cook, she can absolutely coach. One of the best coaches in the area. The way she gets so much out of her players and the way they buy in, and just from what I hear, during timeouts, the way she coaches them up. It's just incredible. And this might be the best team that she's had, and that's saying something because she has had a lot of quality squads over these last 3-4 years, and they just keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah, it gets tough fast in the playoffs.
For sure.
But they look like a solid squad. But like Lucy Beckham, this just kind of illustrates like the landscape, I guess. More transitive property fun. Lucy Beckham, I think they lost to Bishop England like 19-1 or something. They beat James Island 20-1, and they beat Bluffton 20-0 tonight. So like Lucy Beckham is like a strong, really strong program, but then there's like this whole other tier where Bishop England exists. So that's kind of wild. Just I just noted that tonight and was like, holy cow, that's crazy, that disparity between like the top team and like a pretty high level team.
If we'll get Lucy Beckham, they'll be on the road there on the 28th of March, so that's coming up pretty soon. They're at home again on Saturday at McMagnets at noon, pending weather, of course, but a noon opening draw, I guess you could say. First draw.
Yeah, Saturday looks a little dicey. Yeah, that matchup at Lucy Beckham is a huge one. And then they have Oceanside as well. Yeah, it looks like we do have.
By the way,
it looks like we do have our friend waiting. By the way, what?
What were you going to say, Wes? Ella Christie.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were going to say something else. You said, by the way, I was waiting for the rest of it. We welcome in Ella Christie from the Hilton High lacrosse team. How you doing, Ella?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Welcome to the show. Congrats on a big win tonight. I was a little taken aback by the spread because James Island is usually a pretty solid program, and obviously they're a little bit down from where they have been, but nonetheless, you guys came out and just dominated tonight. So tell me about the mindset going into tonight and how you guys were able to really stay in control throughout and barely miss the shutout, which would have been amazing.
I know. Yeah, so we started off our season really strong because we only lost we lost 2 starting seniors, and then we had another senior, so we knew that this was gonna be, like, one of our strongest years yet because we've been building up the program for so long now, and so then we had some issues on our attack with kinda just, like, using our plays and moving the ball around, but then we got that fixed, and we've always had a strong defense, so I feel like using the energy of it being senior night tonight, it was a completely different team than what it has been in the past few games, and we tied Richmond Hill on Friday, and
Yeah.
I feel like that really boosted us up because that's one of those games that we either always lose by 1 or we win by 1, so I feel like that just kind of gave us the energy that we needed, and we know that our schedule coming up is really it's gonna be a tough ride. So I
Yeah.
think we were just kinda using this to capitalize off of one of the last chances we have to really win by that large of a margin.
A really strong victory for you guys, doing it, offensively, and then just a clinical defensive effort. Tell me about the way that defense played tonight. Just absolutely relentless, forcing some ground balls, and you guys always were able to take advantage and scoop them up and give you guys more chances offensively. Just tell me about the amazing way the defense played tonight.
Yeah, so we have we've had some, like, ups and downs with our defense this season, but we usually we have issues with kind of the girls getting through on the cutters, and tonight we were just able to stop them, and we were really just I feel like our team had the most energy tonight, and we had, like, this, like, speed that we usually never have, and it's not that we don't have it, it's just we were putting it forth tonight, and we were just getting our feet there, and so we were able to come up with good cause turnovers versus getting the calls, and I feel like that followed through all through the midfield and on defense. Like, it definitely was we knew that we wanted that ball back, and we weren't gonna let them drive through because they had girls that were driving through really strong, and we knew that we had to just play smart versus kinda sloppy.
Good stuff. You guys are definitely coming together. You talked about building the program up over the last few years, and so it's you guys have had kind of like a good core of kids who have come up through it, and we've talked a lot about Kara Cook and the from the outside it seems like she does a terrific job of fostering a positive environment where there's a lot of it's a team first mentality. It's kind of a safe space, so to speak. Like where she seems to be really has a good knack for bringing in kids who haven't played the sport before and letting them acclimate to it and creating an environment where it's welcoming to people who
Mhm.
are maybe new to the sport. Are we kind of spot on with that?
Yeah, she is involved in so many different things, and she's always been involved in our rec in our middle school, and so her, like, having a little, like, taste of everything, I feel like she really just created a strong program, and then she's she's so smart, like, we do so much each season we have like a different kind of topic or focus for the season, and it's a lot of we talk about a lot of like psychological things and kind of just like bettering our own self-esteem, and that's why we work so much with Morgan's message to like promote mental health, and I feel like that
Mhm.
definitely has a large effect on how our team plays and how we kind of bring up each other, and that's all
Mhm.
nurtured through her. So
Love that.
Yeah, we've seen you guys do it. We've seen volleyball do it, Hilton High. Can you explain more about the Morgan's messages as that you mentioned and how you guys have adopted that as a rallying cry to really emphasize how much mental health matters in school and in sports and in life?
yeah, so my mom, she does the outreach, kinda like the local outreach for it's like greater ambassadors, and she was the one that kinda was like, "Hey, Ella, like, we need to get this in our area," because it was something that we all struggled with, and so my sophomore year, we kinda looked into it, and my cousin, she played, lacrosse she played lacrosse at Navy, but she played lacrosse in Northern Virginia, and she actually played against Morgan, who it was founded around after she took her own life. And so we had close ties and connections that kind of informed me. And then it kind of stuck with me because I've started since my freshman year, and starting midfield is like a big deal. So I've always had these own pressures on myself. And so I kind of wanted to share that with my other teammates, because I know it's things that we were kind of silently struggling with. And Coach Carroll really helped. She really helped encourage it and include it. And so then it's just kind of like we're opening the conversation up to it. And so it's a large part of like who we are as people, and that we're more than just how we play on the field. Like, we are humans before we're athletes.
Amen. Amen.
Also,
And you said that you feel like that impacts like the team dynamic, and so now I actually feel like safe space was the right word to use, because it feels like it creates an environment where like it's okay to not be okay or to be upset, and that you guys are able to then like recognize it in the moment and be there to pick up your teammate like a teammate's supposed to be, and just like accepting that we're all going through that is such a freeing thing to like it's not just you, it's all of us. And when you can kind of let your guard down a little bit and just be real about that, then that's when your teammates really can step in and pick you up when you need it in that moment. So I guess I would just love to hear more from your perspective about the kind of the mental health challenges that student athletes face.
Yes. Obviously, we've had issues within our school that we've lost 2 students this year to suicide. And then we just keep on, I feel like we experience so much loss. And not all were athletes, but we just kind of, I feel like as an athlete, that's just who you associate yourself as. Like, it's not like, I mean, you have the high school cliques, and you're the star, this stuff. And I actually wrote my personal essay for colleges on this, but it was kind of like breaking the stigma that the star has to be the star all the time. And even the people that aren't the star, like, if you're not, like, that doesn't define who you are, and that you're so much more than how you perform in one game, because there's things greater than this. And then that kind of goes into like my faith, which is really important to me. So that, I feel like everything just kind of comes together, and we try to tie everything together. And so it just has a general understanding of you're not how you perform in one game, or even a whole season, or even like your whole lifetime of playing, because
whatever happens happens. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. We sent you out there to see what you can do, and it's failure is part of it. So I just love that you guys are really leaning into that, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. I love that.
love to hear that,
Yeah.
Ella. And I just want to hear more about reflecting. You're a senior now. You've been part of this program for a while. I mean, it doesn't seem long to me that you were coming up as a freshman and finding yourself as a standout on this group, and you got to play alongside some of our even our Lowco friends like Brooke Simons, our intern, who was a senior when you were a freshman, and some other studs on that team like Anna Farabee, Sarah Kate Shuck. There were a ton of outstanding players that you got to play with and be a part of and just learn from. So tell me about these last 4 years as a Hilton Head lacrosse player, and how it kind of all hit home on senior night, about your journey through these last 4 seasons, and just what you learned as a player and as a person through these mentors, and how that's shaped you as an individual.
Yeah, so Sophia Cavano actually, so she was able to practice 8th grade year with that, even though their season got cut short. but I went to St. Francis, so I wasn't really, knew all these girls that were playing, and I was always involved in the program, but I was always kind of taken out of it. So then I was really excited my freshman year, and I loved all the seniors and I had played with Anna Farabee since I was in maybe third grade, and I played with a lot of these girls for a while. So I had these connections, and even though their season got cut short, great, and I just like, sorry. And and Brooke has always been like a big sister to me. So I feel like I got out there, and I remember our first game was against Lucy Beckham, and I had like all these tantrums, and then like looking back at the film, I was so embarrassed of myself. But I feel like my big thing is I've always been a team player, and I've always tried to like help create things for other people, and I feel like that was nurtured my freshman year when we had these standouts on the field. And each year I knew I had to step up a little bit more because we were losing such strong players, but we've always been called like SG Lax family. And so I feel like that's really developed over my 4 years, and just kind of playing for each other versus playing for yourself. And definitely those upperclassmen when I was a freshman helped like instill that within me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's culture, right? It doesn't graduate. It just gets passed on. That's the difference between, just building a team and building a culture, is that it kind of carries through. So on to that end, I mean, you're not that little freshman anymore. You're the upperclassman now. You're the leader. To talk to us a little bit about that transition and what it was like to realize one day, like, oh, they're looking to me to be the leader now, and how you embrace that role.
Yeah, so I feel like it was definitely a gradual thing, because it was I've always kind of so I'm from Northern Virginia, so I've been playing preschool since I was in preschool, and so I've always had like this knowledge of the game, and I've always shared that even with the upperclassmen. So I feel like as I became older, I've also always, the junior group behind me, I've played with them since I was like in second and third grade. So I was used to kind of being that upper, almost like not role model, but someone that they could look up to. So then as like I was ready my junior year, I was like, I need to be captain. Like, not I need to be captain, but I really want to be captain. That's something that I think could really help adjust my game and play more for, not, I was already playing for the team, but play for more for those wins and the good feelings versus how did I do? What are my stats? And I think like part of that is last year, Coach Kara stopped putting in our stats. And so I kind of had to focus on what was I doing for the team. And like, that's always been my main goal, is what I can do for them. And I've never really been like a huge goal scorer. I'm always like the assister, and I'm fine with that. But that's definitely,
you get even money on assists in lacrosse, though. It's not like soccer. You get even money.
I mean, you get 1 point for an assist, 1 point for a goal. I mean, it's
and so that's
all
always
one the same.
Yeah, that's always been more important to me, is kind of helping. And last year I really started assisting to the girls below me, and so it's kind of like I'm helping nurture them as the leader to come. And so that's been more important to me than I feel like anything else.
Yeah. I mean, if you score all the goals, then who's going to score the goals next year?
Right. And it ties into my next question. What I got to see out there on the field was just the unselfishness of everybody out there. I mean, giving up an opportunity to score, to find a pass to, help set up a better one. So you're just telling me about how you guys have just worked on that end, just the passing and the communication with your teammates, and just this unselfish play, which really showed up throughout tonight's game.
Yeah. So we get in our huddles. Of course, everybody wants to score. So once we get like 5 goals, we have different things that we go into, and we just knew that we have to play for each other. And especially when we're up by so much, we're never going to be able to just kind of go in and score whenever we want against the better team. So we use these opportunities to play for each other, but then it also helps us realize, wow, it feels just as good to get an assist as it does a goal. And I've kind of seen that as in the younger girls below me, like Lily Friday and Veronica Markowitz, they're always like, Ella, like, I'm going to get you an assist. Like, you're going to assist versus them being like, you assist me. Like, I want the feeling of the goal. Like, it's like, it's double. It's just as good. It's double as good when you have an assist and a shot and a goal versus just a run and a goal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, coaches love assisted goals too. I mean, they're just more satisfying. Period. But I think it's probably also more satisfying to you too to assist on a goal when it's a kid that maybe doesn't score a lot of goals or might be their first goal ever or something like that's a really good feeling because you got to play a role in that like special moment for them. That's really cool. Max, did you have a question, bud?
Yeah. First, I want to say, like, I congratulate you for, spreading awareness about mental health. I think it's real important because, believe it or not, and I don't tell many people this, but, when I was in high school, I dealt with depression and anxiety, playing sports and stuff like that. So I know what it's like for some of those people, so I really applaud you for, spreading the awareness for mental health and stuff like that. As for lacrosse, I wonder, like, you guys got a real tough schedule coming up. I see 100% see y'all making playoffs, obviously. When you get to playoffs, you guys this is probably the strongest your team has been in a couple of seasons. I mean, how far do y'all think you can go with this?
I think that we can go as far as we want to go. And that's kind of what's happened this season is we have those games like tonight where we're on and then we just sometimes it's just an off thing. And so we've had that for the past 2 years. We've gone to the second round and we should have won both games and we just kind of lose it. Like if we all want it really bad, we can go as far as our abilities will allow us to go. So I think we could go even to the third round, but we have to want it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
One game at a time. Yep. Shout out your goalkeeper, Rel Stracco. I mean, obviously so close to a shutout, but she's been really solid. Obviously, she hasn't seen that much work, which is a good thing because defense is playing well. But just tell me about how she's really found her groove out there in the net.
Yeah, so last season, Rel really came through because we had Meg Rickenbach our freshman year, and Rel was a manager. Yep. She wasn't playing. And then we had Sophia Maduri, who she moved last year, and her and Rel they split their time, but they kind of encouraged one another because they both had different skills. Like her mindset, she just gets out there and she doesn't let things bring her down. And Sophia was more of an emotional player, but like when she was on, she was on. So having that, like the differences was really good. So then last year, Sophia moved, and so it was all on Rel. And I feel like that really like empowered Rel to be like, I got this. Like, this is all on me. Like, I have to be on all the time. Mm-hmm. And so then this year we have Lucy who came in, and she actually moved from South Korea. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. And they've just they have like this energy. And obviously my mom's the goalie coach, so I have more of an intel than most, but they do their own thing at practice. Like they focus a lot on their mentality and what they need to be thinking when they're in the goal. And I feel like a large part of Rel's success has been from her attitude and how she is as a person. Because a goalie is a hard position, but she's like has the personality for it. So
you get peppered, man. You get absolutely peppered. It's it's not for the weak-willed, that's for sure. Yeah. But no, as you start you mentioned your college essays. What are the plans for the future for you? Is lacrosse in your future, or are we focused on academics at this point?
I'm focused on academics, but I know I want to play club in college. Mm-hmm. I am in between University of Georgia and Auburn. I don't know where I want to go, but I think I'll end up at Georgia. And I was already looking at their lacrosse club schedule, and they like travel all these different places. And because I wanted to focus on academics because I wanted to focus on what I was doing after school, after college, and after kind of like, I knew I wasn't going to incorporate lacrosse in with my job. So I knew that that was more important to me. But this year, it kind of hit me that I don't want this to be my
You're not
last
done yet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what made me want to go the club route. Also, I'm not a big sorority girl, so I needed a different way to meet people.
Yeah, need a different friend group, built-in friend group. What are you gonna plan to study? What are the career plans?
So right now I'm animal science, but I think I will stay with it, and then I eventually want to do physical therapy and then do animal physical therapy because I've always wanted to work with animals and I've always wanted to help people, but I really don't want to go to vet school, so it's kind of like the happy medium.
There you go.
Yeah, and all right. So you'll get to help doggos get back on their feet after hip surgery and stuff like that. That sounds like a wonderfully rewarding way to go through life and earn a living. So I commend you for that. Fellas, any more questions before we let her go?
Just wrapping up tonight and what you thought about this team, and you think you guys are really starting to find it. And we kind of alluded to it earlier, but is this the moment? Is this the game of the week that you guys are really beginning to find yourself as a team that has found confidence and just has found the best form of the game of your game that you've seen, and now you're looking to continue this momentum as you get ready to face some tough opponents these next few weeks?
Yeah, so our main thing that we've struggled with this season has really just been energy, and we said we don't have a hype person. Like these past few years, we've always had like one person to bring us up, and so I feel like since we've been talking about it so much, and after this game, and we know that we have tough games coming up, that we know that we just can't lose that, and our energy is what's gonna carry us through these games. Because even if we have a loss, that it was like our Philip Simmons loss. We all played so well and we all felt so good after it, and we never kind of fought one another and got upset over minor inconveniences. But we just need, if we carry through with that energy, win or lose, like we know that we'll be sticking together and we won't break apart and fall down, which I think we've struggled with in the past few seasons because we used to turn on each other. But since we have such a foundation, I think we'll be able to persevere through anything if we lose or if we win.
Yeah, man, I love your blunt honesty and like transparency about because that's the reality. Like, we don't always talk about it. We talk about what happens on the field, but usually when a team is going good and then they're not, that's what happens. Like they turned the team first mentality eroded. They started pointing fingers and it just fell apart because chemistry matters and you gotta play for each other. Like you said, if you're not playing for each other, it doesn't have that same pizzazz. But Jackson Bybee giving you your props for a great job on your interview. Terrific work. Great talking with you. We went on and on and on because you had so many valuable, important things to say. So thanks so much for your time and thanks for being an awesome leader for the next generation. We're proud of you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ella
Thank you all.
Christie, Hilton Head High girls lacrosse. Tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Man. Yeah, that was. Whew. We've said it a bunch of times, Wes. That's one of the best interviews we've ever had. But that was
powerful stuff.
One of the best. That was
really powerful stuff. Yeah,
she's awesome.
Just to go inside of the mind of great student.
Hey,
just an amazing leader and ambassador for all that she stands for and everything that she's doing outside of the classroom, outside of the field with the mental health. I mean, I can't stress how important, especially for high school students. It's very real. And you mentioned it, Max, with everything you had to go through, and it's something that has to be noted on. It's something that has to be emphasized, and these students, they go through it on a daily basis, and it's very important for them to become aware of it, get treated on it, and for adults and just people like us to really shed light on it and to help these students and these teenagers who are going through some tough times. And I mean, it's
man.
important to shine a light on that kind of thing, and just great to see students, sharing about opportunities to really put things in perspective and ensure that things will improve and
Destigmatized.
yeah, because everyone goes through it. I mean, I can't think of somebody
Brother.
throughout their high school career who has not had some form. I mean, it's just something that
Oh,
is
yeah.
part of the process and shouldn't be shamed. It should be
Hey,
heralded
don't
as
stop
something.
when you're an adult, brother.
Yeah, dude.
Sure, but especially with everything that goes on in your high school experience, as you're growing as an
Yeah.
individual, as a young person,
I
and
can't
learning.
imagine how hard it is to be a kid
Yep.
growing up in this
Yep.
time. I
And
mean,
with
just
social
the
media,
social media, I mean, even just like, we try to really shield them from a lot and be careful about, like not just dogging on people when they make a mistake. Because like that stuff's forever and it's out there and it's like, I don't know, man, it's just a different time. Like I did a lot of dumb things that if there had been camera phones when I was in high school, man, it would have been ugly. And, and also like just, if you have an embarrassing moment in a sporting event, like it's bad enough as it is. You don't need it to be a viral reel.
Yeah.
Like that's rough. That's rough. So I'm always careful, even with like, I don't want to like showcase highlights that make another kid look bad. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's unavoidable because you got to showcase the highlight, but you're never trying to do that. Same thing with
No.
photos. I throw away a lot of photos that are pretty good photos, but like swing looks atrocious or like the mechanics are bad and you're like, well, I don't really want to put that out there, make a kid look bad because it's a still image. It's not actually a good representation, but it might give people a certain idea. So all of that stuff, you add it all up and then, Max, like you can speak to it more than I can being from this generation, but it's got to be just a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah, and it with social media and everything, it puts more pressure on you. I mean,
Yeah.
if I didn't get help, I don't know where I would be. Honestly, like if I would probably be having panic attacks every 5 seconds because I struggled a lot with that during high school and stuff, especially middle school and high school, dude. I mean, I struggled with that for probably 8 years, and if I didn't get the
For me,
help,
it was right after
would
I
have
got
been.
out of college and like all the responsibilities of just
Well, I
being
mean,
an
yeah,
adult with undiagnosed ADHD that I didn't know for another like 25 years, and it was just it was everything everywhere all at once. I watched that movie
yeah. I mean,
recently and that was so relatable. It was like there's just so much running through your mind all the time and you just can't like make sense of it. And I've been medicated since I was like 25. And it makes a tremendous difference.
I mean, yeah, I I struggled with it a lot through middle school and then through high school as well. When I got to college and I was probably 2 months into college, that was like the first time I wasn't dealing with something like that. I wasn't dealing with mental illness. It was the best I had ever felt. And then when I dropped out of college, when all of COVID started and stuff like that, that's when it hit the hardest because I didn't know what my life looked like anymore. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And so I started having panic attacks and stuff like that because I just didn't know what my life looked like. So, getting help for stuff like that is important. It's extremely important. And I'm glad that she's spreading that awareness that like, hey, mental health, it's a real thing and it can hurt you really badly. So I mean, hats off to her for spreading awareness and stuff like that because it's important. So
Yeah, and I know USCB has leaned into the Helinski's Hope thing too, and lots of other mental health awareness stuff. I love to see more and more of that because, it's helped
yeah,
that
for
we've
sure.
had some really high profile athletes, deal with it as well. Kevin Love in the NBA and Naomi Osaka, and like a lot of athletes have stepped away. Austin Meadows, baseball player, is now he's stepped away, and it's. I'm glad that some of the stigma is being ripped away from that, but Terrific interview with Ella. Love having
man.
the opportunity to showcase these kids and restore some hope for the future of humanity, because they're pretty special. But the people who make this possible for us to do this, the MVP sponsors of LowcoSports, start with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with the Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. Megan Jarrett, official realtor of LowcoSports. We've also got Homegrown Home Inspections among our MVP sponsors. They're the official home inspectors of LowcoSports. Jan Lucas and his team will take care of you and make sure that you're making a great investment in the Lowco real estate market by checking that home over from top to bottom. Or if you're building a new home, they'll give you a phased inspection to make sure it's built right every step of the way by Homegrown Home Inspections. And Mickelson Law Firm is the official real estate closing attorney of LowcoSports and our presenting sponsor of our HHCA coverage, our original sponsor since 2017. Ryan and Tiffany and the Mickelson squad can help you with all your legal needs. And Hospice Care, the Lowcountry official hospice care of LowcoSports and the only not-for-profit hospice provider in Southern Beaufort County. And they're your Golden Oyster Award winner for 2024 for the best nonprofit. Congratulations to the folks at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are the MVP sponsors, gentlemen. And we've kind of recapped the highlights from tonight. There's a couple other scores that we maybe haven't mentioned. Bluffton girls soccer rolled 6-0 over Colleton County, 6 different goal scorers. Hilton Head Prep girls won 5-2 over Calvary Day. Haven't seen the Bluffton boys score yet from Colleton. We got through all the baseball and the softball. There was some golf. Goat Golf tells us May River took first with a 157, and Bluffton was second with a 161 at Data tonight. Lovely night to play Data.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can do worse. You can do worse than that this evening.
That is such a beautiful course too. So that's a perfect night to play on a course like that. So yeah.
Heck yeah. I bet it was beautiful out there. But I did want to circle back. I've got the video here somewhere. I wanted to circle back to this Bluffton James Island game last night, because we didn't have the video handy last night, but we do now. And it's not great. Mark Rennick's also requested, as you can see, to send him the video. So I sent it to him. Rennick's is a longtime umpire. We've had him on here. He probably knows what needs to happen if there's to be recourse. So here's the first pitch of the at-bat, clearly a ball. Second pitch is a swing and miss, so we're 1-1. And then the third pitch is not called a strike. I mean, he didn't move from his crouch. It was borderline strike at the letters, but he didn't seem to call it a strike. So both game changers had it 2-1, and that one's inside. It's 3-1. That looked into me, but I can live with it as a called strike. But it was strike 2, I think. And he punched him out. You see the catcher goes out to the mound, turns around to come back, and the umpire says strike. That's 3 outs, and he puts his hands up like, huh? And looks at the dugout, and they're like, strike 3, I guess. And then they start celebrating. So I don't know, man. I think they got a legitimate beef. My only explanation. My only explanation is that the 1-1 was called a strike, but he just did not signal, which is not required by rule, but should be. But
at
maybe
least you would have at least.
I have been told he sometimes just forgets, but it didn't look like the cat. That's the thing, is he at least would have said strike or indicated strike
said
verbally.
Something. Right. You would need
to make the viewers
and both the catcher and the batter looked fooled. Even the pitcher looked a little confused. Like,
that should be a clear signal whether you're calling it a ball or calling it a strike. I mean,
I agree.
Because you should say something. Like, you don't have to make a movement saying strike or whatever. Just make the movement. At least say strike. Say it was a strike. Don't say anything and just continue on, because then at that point you have no idea what's going on.
That's what we can never truly know, is did he verbalize strike? But more importantly to me was the count verbalized at some point. Like,
well,
as
sometimes
a batter, did he say 3-1 and then ring him up? Like, did the batter, or did he did the batter just assume it was 3-1? You know, like
and
there's
a lot of the
questions to
umpires
be asked
now
there.
will not just verbalize it, but they'll put up their fingers and say, "This is the count." And
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
Yeah, but May River kind of looked confused as well. It wasn't
No,
just
James
Bluffton.
Island.
It was
It was
James
James
Island. Sorry,
Island.
my
They
apologies. Yeah, they had
look
no idea what
completely
was going on.
confused.
Yeah, I
They,
was
they
like, so at that point, you're thinking it was. You don't think it was the fact that he didn't call a strike that was a strike. You're
I
thinking
don't
that
think
hey,
so.
he may have missed something here.
I think he lost
Like at
track of
that
it,
point,
which
yeah.
means that the field umpire didn't have it either. Because if he did, he would have
And I
come in and
believe
corrected it.
did Bluffton put the game under protest at all?
I don't know the answer to that. I would assume so and hope so,
I would
especially
think
because they
so.
have video evidence. But I mean, they had.
Kitty,
If it was indeed 3-1, that was a borderline pitch inside. I mean, could have been ball 4 and tied the game, and then the winning runs on third. Like it was a huge spot in the game.
yeah.
I mean, wild. It's just wild. I haven't seen something quite like that to end a game. It's crazy.
And you got video footage of it too, so that also helps a little bit. But it's not great video footage, but it's video footage nonetheless.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a wild one. I've never seen anything quite like it. And like I don't love putting umpires on blast as much as I joke about not liking umpires. Like that's just a baseball coach joke. They're actually, I like most of them. I just don't like them during the game sometimes. Most of them are some of the best people I know, and God knows we couldn't teach kids how to play baseball without them. But I don't like putting him on blast, but it was such a source of controversy last night, and there was video. I feel like
it was a big moment,
a responsibility to break it down, John Boy style breakdown, and and see what happened here.
Yeah, that was a big moment too. You have bases loaded, and oh god, that's a huge moment for something like that to happen. So I mean,
even if that's strike 2 and it's full count, I mean the man's been struggling to find the zone, and he's got to throw one pretty much down the deck, 3-2 with the bases loaded and the tying run on third. So you're gonna get a chance to hack.
If knowing what Kitty will do, I think he would have probably put that game under protest 100%.
I would think so.
I would think he would have done that. So
I suspect that's why the video has been requested, but we'll see. Or at least Mark definitely has I think Mark might even be the assigner for the area, so he's doing his due diligence. He's got the video. He's seen it. I saw him try to call me today when I was in a meeting. So, he's trying to get to the bottom of it, and hopefully they'll get some recourse. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? Do you bring them back and load the bases up, and that guy has to go out? I guess you can put anybody you want out there to pitch.
Yeah.
You're going to make it 3-2 again with the bases loaded, and it might be one pitch, and then everybody goes home?
Well, you'd have you play him again, right? Or was this second game?
They play him again, but no, they don't play him again. This was the second game.
Last, so,
but even if they did, it would be at a different site. They go bring the bus down.
When reminds me, it happened in pro baseball sometimes.
Yeah, it did.
When
there was one that was like one pitch and over, right?
Red Sox walked him off in 12 minutes.
Yeah,
because it started in like the 10th inning.
Yeah. Get back on the plane, boys.
Yeah.
No, I think that was part of a combined doubleheader or something. But no, I mean I don't know. It's gonna be wild if they do make them come line it back up, throw another pitch. But you would think. I mean, typically in baseball, you file a protest on the spot, you get some kind of you play it from that point, and then if the protest is granted,
well, I mean that
right?
that would be. Weird. I mean, that was on the spot too. I mean, it was the end of the game anyway with that
right. But that's what I'm saying is you would think the best way to handle that would be, hold on, we are filing a protest, so let's play it from the point of protest and see what occurs, and then
I think
a third party can decide which result we take. It's kind of like playing a provisional ball,
Well, I think they were looking at it like, what just happened? Well, what's going on? And then you had to have the umpire explain it to you, and then you're like, oh, well, no, we're putting this under protest. Well, 100%.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, the umpire doesn't have to give you any recourse in that moment, I don't guess, because he's got it strike three. If his partner also has it strike three, like who else you going to? If there's not another authority figure to go to at the field, so you kind of just gotta let it run its course, I guess. But what a mess, man! What a mess. Biggest debacle I've seen to end a game since I got run from an 8U All-Star game and whatever year that was. Mark Renix was there for that too. He was defending my case. Yeah, he was defending my case. Actually, because I got hosed on that one. But that was against Hampton. I still hold a grudge about that, man. But that was pretty interesting. Anything else you boys want to talk about tonight? I guess we should start.
Has big
how about you?
Actually,
let's freaking go.
Let's do our varsity sponsors, and then we'll talk a little March Madness. It's almost Wes's bedtime, though. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, find them at ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and they're helping us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes. Reverence Wrestling Club is our official wrestling sponsor and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. Take your skills on the mat to the next level at Reverence. And Dr. Ambrose Cole, official chiropractor of LowcoSports, and he's over at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton. He'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Ambrose Cole. Those are our varsity sponsors. How are your brackets looking, boys? Hanging in there? Mine's trash.
They're looking good. I'm doing all right on brackets. I called Dayton beating Nevada, although I was a bit scared at first.
Yeah, well, the Dayton was
a bit scared. I was a bit scared because, even then, like a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Nevada's going to win." And stuff down.
All my upset picks are
lost early in the A10 tournament. They lost in the quarterfinals. So, I mean, certainly not what you want going in. And then you find yourself down 17 with a few minutes left.
And like 17. It's just
it was like a 99.6 win probability. It was a 99.6 win probability for Nevada. And then Dayton somehow found a way to get back in this ball game, and I mean, it's incredible.
What did I see? It's the largest NCAA tournament comeback since like 2017 or something like that.
Wow,
like, unreal. And then for somehow, some way, Kentucky lost today. I have no idea.
Yeah, they did.
How
Oakland.
They lost to Oakland, man.
Oakland.
Yeah, I did not have that one. I didn't have that one.
I didn't have that one. I did.
The perfect number of perfect.
I had McNeese and Moorhead, and they're both dead. I had Sanford, and they're dying.
I had Oregon. I had Oregon over South Carolina. I called that
Oregon as well.
I got that one, man.
I missed.
Yep. I wish I could have called McCain though, because good for Keith Dambrot and the Dukes earlier on. But how about that guy, Jack Golke? Off the bench with the game of his life, 10 3-pointers for 32 points off the bench.
Shining moments.
He'll be in the highlight.
I love it. He'll be in the montage.
Oh man, last year's Cinderella St. Peter's is getting absolutely crushed right
now. Getting trucked. Getting boat
60 to 28, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, I also called Drake. Drake.
Yeah, me too.
I also called Drake beating Washington State. I hope it's close right now. I hope it happens.
Yeah, down 4.
Hey man, hey, my brackets are doing all right. I've had a couple terrible calls, but other than that, I've done all right.
Yeah, I went bold with a few picks, and they are not panning out. So, I'm just.
Are you in pool? Are you in pool play? Wait, are you in pool play?
I'm in a couple pools, but I only have one bracket, same bracket and all of them.
You use them for all your pools.
Yeah, one bracket to rule them all. I can't be confused about who I need to win. I need to unify rooting interests.
Yeah.
I do 3 brackets. I do 2 serious ones, and then like one just for the hell of it. That's
why I can't be in more than 2 fantasy football leagues, because you're rooting for
you start rooting against yourself.
Yeah.
I can only do one. Yeah, I can only do one fantasy football league, man. That's all I can do. I
It's
can't
like
handle
you're
two.
playing someone and you're playing against them in the other league. It's like, well, who do you root for? So,
My
You
fantasy
can
football team got trashed this year. So
you can get around that with baseball because it's like it's not quite as heavy, especially rotisserie. But even like head to head, it's like it's a sea of stats. So like
Yeah.
it's such a minor thing. You don't worry too much about it. But I also try to draft a lot of the same people on all my
hey, I'm ready. You
fantasy
know what?
teams,
I'm ready
whatever
for.
sport it is.
Well,
I just like unifying who I'm rooting for. Like I know, I got him on both teams. I'm definitely rooting for him.
Yep.
You
Hey,
know,
man,
like
I'm
that's the gold stuff.
I'm ready for tomorrow's NCAA games. Charleston's playing
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'm excited to watch that game. And then
Yeah, and I
my
saw
boys
Nick
from
Pringle
Clemson
didn't
did.
make the trip, which is
Really?
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
that'll
that.
be a good one. I'm
He's
interested in seeing what happens with James Madison, Wisconsin, the Dukes. Those are
yeah, I
trending
got the
upset pick
Dukes.
heading into this
Yeah.
weekend.
I'm with the
Grand Canyon
Dukes, which is
Mary.
probably the kiss of death.
Yep. And then I'm also interested in seeing New Mexico Clemson because that's an underrated New
Everybody's
Mexico team
it is
that could
really
make
it's a
some
good
noise.
New Mexico team, but
I got
everybody's
New
calling
Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yep.
I don't know. Clemson's good, but I just want to see them actually play better in March than
Oh.
they usually do.
Update: Nick is with the team now, and will play tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
He did not travel with them yesterday. He was dealing with a personal issue, but is with the team and will play tomorrow. So good stuff.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
Very
good stuff, man. Good
Very
stuff.
good to know. Yes, I was
Yeah,
concerned when I saw that he didn't travel with them, but because he had been away from the team earlier in the season, so I was like, oh no, that's not
that's
not
really
good.
That's not good.
But good to see that he's back with the team and will play tomorrow. So I look forward to watching him play tomorrow against Charleston. That'll be fun.
Man.
That's
It's
late
gonna
game
be a
out
good
in Spokane. Yeah, that'll be a late one out in Spokane.
Yeah. How late?
So should be
What
cool.
time is it? Oh,
It might be on while
7:35,
we're
man.
on. Oh, 7:35.
7:35 tomorrow.
7:35. So yeah, it'll be probably done. Or
It'll be wrapped right before we go live.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
That's good timing. That's
Yeah, man.
fantastic timing.
Yeah, that's good timing. I like that.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
stuff. All right, boys.
underway, baby.
Let's start rounding this thing up then.
All right,
The
I'm
Loco
going
Booster
to
Club. Well, hold on. Loco Booster Club.
All right,
Court
yeah.
Lifestyle Pros. Daniel and Debbie Corder, the Court Lifestyle Pros. They're Lowcountry natives who want to bring you home to Hilton Head. And they are from Charter One Realty. Revive Rehab, Women's Health, and Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jen get you feeling right after you have a baby. And Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel as well as custom gift baskets. Go over to their showroom on Argent Boulevard to see everything they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barber Shop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. They'll get you looking right, and they'll also leave you with some great conversation over at Jay's Barbershop in Ridgeland. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. And now you may do your shout out, sir.
Yeah, and I know we go with the player, but I'm gonna have to. I will choose the entire Hilton High lacrosse team because it was truly a team effort tonight, and everybody did their role, especially the way that defense played. Just seamless the way they passed the ball, and just from top to bottom, really, really strong performance over there at home to get a convincing dub and almost the shutout. Just a minute and a half to go. Tough one there, but yeah, what a showing there for Kerr Cook squad, and there's definitely a high high separation between the top tiers of teams, and there's just gonna be a step up once you go up against those strong teams like Lucy Beckham and Bishop England's been the class for a while. They're outstanding. So definitely it's a steep incline in terms of the talent when you look at those teams. But I mean, Hilton Head's they've solidified themselves as obviously the best girls lacrosse team in the area, and it just continues. The tradition continues over there, and Cook's laid the foundation, and now you really get to see the senior leadership of someone who's been there for such a long time, and just really cool to hear Ella Christie's comments about her journey and just being a part of that experience for a while under Cook, and just great stuff from that interview, and really proud of her and that team for what they've been doing, and that they certainly showed a lot out there on the field tonight, and I'm excited to see what they can do heading into another game potentially on Saturday against Academic Magnet.
Yeah, good stuff. And appropriate to do a team thing for them tonight, because we got to see up close and personal how much of a team they are. That's cool stuff. Max, what you got, buddy?
Give me rest. Give me Kylie rest. There's no one else there tonight for me. It's rest. The 9 innings, 18 strikeouts. I mean, it's she's ridiculous, man. She's so good. I enjoy watching her. I hate that I didn't get to be on during her interview with y'all on, what was it? Was it Tuesday?
Yeah, she was exceptional. Yeah, she was really good. We'll get her on again, I'm sure. She was
for sure,
super.
Man.
But
shout out to her, man.
Yeah, good call. She's really she's a foxhole kid. You're like, yeah, I'll go to battle with you. I don't care what we're playing, man. You got that competitive edge, that dog in you, that whatever we're playing, I want you on my team. I'm going to shout out a team as well. I got to give love to those Hilton Head Prep boys soccer. I mean, it's been a slog, and the program, went away for a year after COVID, and it's really hard to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and they've built around some other programs there, and boys soccer has kind of fallen by the wayside, but guys keep scrapping. They were 0-5 this year, and fighting uphill, but got a dub tonight, 1-0 at Calvary Day. I think it's a 27-game winless streak and a 25-game losing streak since 2019, if Max Preps is to be trusted, which is a big if. When you're going back that far, there's a lot of holes sometimes. But regardless, I know on Instagram they said it's our first win in a good minute, and I think it's like 5 years. So congrats to those guys for ending the win streak starts tonight, baby. Gotta love it. So congrats. But fellas, heck of a show. We didn't have a lot going on tonight, but we got a lot out of Ella Christie, who was terrific. Thanks so much to her for making time for us tonight and being so open and genuine and transparent. That was really cool. And thanks to all of thanks to Carlo Perusa for taking Mad Max out on the town tonight to shoot some highlights. We'll get his full highlight package up on social media. And thanks to all of our sponsors who make this all possible, as well as to you for showing up to Listener Watch. That's going to do it for this episode of The Lowdown. For Worldwide Wes Kerr and Mad Max Arraj, I'm Justin Jarrett. We'll see you tomorrow night. Till then, go Loco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.